extra time.
Of Test cricket, how much did you enjoy playing in this series and winning?
This was a fantastic series, and I have to credit India for playing some really good cricket. All through Test matches that we've played, South Africa was on top, India was on top through so many times in the series. And in the first two, we were relentless with our pressure, as I said, and we let our guard down in this third game. And they're a quality team, and they make sure that they capture those opportunities. So I think they can say the same thing about themselves. In the second test, they had a lot of opportunities, a lot of drop chances. So they can sit on the other side and say, we had opportunities to win this series, but we went on top of our game. And that's what the difference between a very tight series like this one.
Faf, is it fair to say that you guys basically lost that test match yesterday by allowing India to get to 247?
I think to be hard on ourselves, pretty much from the start of the test match we went on top of our game. You know, even the first innings, I thought that the total that they got, I think it was 189 or whatever it was probably 30 runs too many. Top of my head, I can think of Virat having 2 or 3 chances. So all of that, you know, on a low-scoring wicket like it is, it all adds up. And even the second innings, they got 220 and it should have been 180. So the last innings we should have chased 160 or something like that. So I think all in all, not a great test match for our skills. Dropped quite a few catches, no ball wickets. In general, our consistency with the ball, I think especially on this wicket, you need to make sure that you zone in on the wickets, quite straight lines. And I thought that both innings we were a little bit short and wide for most of the Indian innings, which gave them the opportunity to leave a lot more. And certainly from a batting perspective, we felt that the Indian bowlers made us play quite regularly.
Yes, sir.
Faf, carrying the back through on cricket like this, what would you like to say about the man sitting next to you?
Look, we know that Dean has got incredible mental toughness. I think that's his biggest strength as a test cricketer. He prides on being gritty, being tough, even being ugly and nasty at times. He likes that, you know, because it gets the best out of him. So he's a fighter, a little bulldog in the team. But he's to bat on a wicket like that, any guy that score runs on this test match, whether it was from our side or from their side, had to play a really good innings. So once again, mentally is the biggest challenge. After getting hit a few times last night, to come back this morning and put on a display of batting like he did is incredible effort.
Can you just talk a little bit about that? We heard at Centurion, you guys played your way out of there. How frustrated you were, because there's a theory that when a pitch is that excessive, it closes the gap between the teams, it becomes a lottery, and your fast ball attack maybe wasn't able to show it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair assessment. As I said before this test in the press conference, that certainly we know that if you ask for a wicket that has got a lot of assistance on, you're bringing the Indian seam attack into it, because they are very skillful. They bowl a touch fuller. They're obviously used to bowling in Indian conditions where you have to attack the stumps, and they move the ball around both ways. So that's what happened this test match. Obviously, quite excessive movement. And although I would say that wasn't good enough, I still think that on our performance, we were outplayed by India.
There was a huge release of satisfaction after Centurion, which we all had to just let the press box. Do you think maybe there was also a release of intensity that you weren't quite able to recapture this week?
We spoke quite a bit about it. Obviously trying to make sure that we keep that same intensity. But I think our action speaks louder than the words that we spoke this week. In the whole series, we've been on in the field, and that for me is a good gauge of where you are as a team mentally. And certainly in this test match, we were not all quite there, and whether that's because we won the series is obviously the obvious thing. But we did speak about it a lot. But you have to give credit to India as well. They raised their game, they raised their intensity, and they put us under pressure for most of the test match.
Yes, Tony.
Faf, was this pitch dangerous at all for you?
I didn't think so day 1 and 2. The only time where I started thinking like that was when Dean got hit in the face. That's when I got a little bit concerned for player safety. And even in the Indian innings, there was quite a few guys getting hit on the finger quite regularly. I think if you have to count the amount of times guys got hit this game, it's much more than usual. You know, excessive sideways movement is obviously tough, but it's not dangerous. As soon as the guys started getting hit from a length, that's when we thought it might get dangerous. But surprisingly, the pitch played fine again today. Today it was fine. So we had the opportunity to chase down a game, and we didn't do that. Apart from maybe my ball.
I mean, are you still happy to tell them one pacing bounce, or I mean, are you just a bit disappointed in the way maybe your directors were interpreting things?
Yeah, I mean, I said it so many times to the press right through the series. We've never ever asked for something excessive. We've never asked for extra grass. All we've asked for from the beginning is a typical South African wicket that has pace and bounce. And although this wicket had pace and bounce, there was obviously a lot more. So pretty disappointed with that. It's disappointing to see that we're not getting, once again, we're not getting it right. Yeah, so I don't know how to answer it, how to change it. It's obviously something that needs to improve.
So you're quite nervous for one of those maybe sanctions?
Look, I think because we finished the game, I don't think that will happen. How I understand it, the demerit points, if the game was called off or if it was an absolute stinker that lasted 2 days, then your demerit points would get a little bit more. So I assume that even if this pitch was rated poorly, you'd still be able to come back here for Test cricket.
What is it about the Wanderers playing India that somehow doesn't get you guys going?
I think it's just them. As I said before the Test match, you just have a ground where you play better at. And I mentioned us as an example. We haven't lost a game at Perth. I don't know what the reason is. You're just successful as a team. Obviously, it's got something to do with the conditions here. The Indian bowlers are very successful in these conditions. So that's something we've got to remember when we play them again next time, that why is it that they're successful here. Obviously, you could see that their bowlers were a real handful in this Test match. And credit to their batters, they put their hands up and put the runs on the board.
Yes. Faf, as julle is die media dophou en daar word gepraat van eerste keer ooit dat julle 3-0 kan wen. Jy kom uit op die grond en ons banners wat sê 3-0 whitewash. Plaas dit onnodige druk op julle?
Nee, glad nie. Ek het self heeltyd dis die taal wat ons in die span gepraat het. Ons wil heeltyd seker gemaak het dat ons hard oefen, al dieselfde dinge doen om seker te maak. No, not at all. We all go through lean patches. I think the white ball is coming in a good time for Quinny because it will, unshackle him. He's obviously disappointed, but as any player would, and he would go back and work hard on his game and make sure that he can be better for the Australian series. But for now, no.
These are the last 5: Tristan, Gerald, Ken, Bear, and Christoph.
Maybe it's just because you speak about it more to us, but it seems like since you took over as captain, there has been more issue put on repairing green wickets.
Not green wickets.
Well,
yeah.
So
yeah.
Term it how you like, but there has been more emphasis on wickets generally. Is that fair behind the scenes?
Yes, very fair. Just under the opinion that you must try and, if it's 1% or 5% or 10%, whatever you can, you must try and get an advantage against opposition that's quality. When we go to India, we certainly don't play on flat green tracks, and I assume that there would be a similar conversation happening there. So for me, it's just making sure that there's a conversation happening with the management of our team and also the groundsman about the conditions that would be ideal for a Test series. This Test series, we didn't get that, and I can't give you the reason for that.
But do you think that emphasis has potentially led to what we've had?
That might do, but I mean, I'm in an environment where I have to score runs and perform, so it's the same if I ask someone if there's an option to get a pitch in the way that we want to. You would hope that the experience would be there to get the pitches right.
The ODI series next week?
Well, it's a completely different setup of guys. So we take a lot of confidence in the series win against India. I think that's something that's very important for everyone to remember, that although us as a team are extremely disappointed, we beat the #1 Test team in the world, even though it's in our own conditions. They came over here very confident, expecting to beat us, and we played brilliant cricket in the first 2 tests, and in this test we went at our best and they beat us.
Yes, Ken.
Faf, you mentioned this was a game where runs were at a premium, and I know we've asked you this before, but could you maybe explain then why both sides, to be fair, went in a batsman light?
We did speak about it. You know, the weighing up the extra batsman versus the all-rounder. At the end of the day, we felt that, you know, with Andile coming in, he offers you both. If you're playing 4 seamers, if you take 90 overs in a day, it means that if your 4 seamers bowl 20 overs each, you're still 10 overs short. So to have a workload where you have to bowl 90 overs off seam against between 4 seamers, the workload is just too much. So we felt like, because we don't have a spinner, you need someone just to bowl a bit of extra overs. But in hindsight, looking back now, maybe the extra batsman would have been, on this specific conditions, would have been a better call.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.